Hey yo, you ain't so tough with that bad boy talk.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy talk. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Hey friends, what's poppin'? Welcome back to the channel Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. And as always, I do hope you're doing well. Really do hope that. And yeah, man, welcome back to Chelsea News. An international break Chelsea News, here to bring you some excitement and stimulation. That's right, here from Only Jans. Stimulation from Only Jans. Today, we're discussing the fact how both Cole Palmer's won Player of the Month by the Premier League Player of the Month. Enzo Maresca has won the Premier League Manager of the Month, and Bompastor as well was won the Women's Manager of the Month. So clean sweep from the Chelsea. We are back, baby. You know who's not back? England. Freaking Lee Carsley had some I don't know, like an aneurysm or something, and decided to play the most crazy suicidal setup ever for England. And we saw Cole Palmer play CDM, which was hilarious. Christopher Nkunku scored a world-class goal. I want to talk a little bit about that as well. And if we get time, maybe, just maybe, we'll talk about associated party transactions. Thanks for joining me. Please do drop a like on the video. Means a lot. The support you guys give me. So thank you for liking and subscribing. And you can follow me on Instagram at FootballYannick, as you can see here. This is my second YouTube channel, and if you want to watch me lose my sugar over how terrible England were, you can watch that, you know? Right then, where to begin? How about Chelsea's really good? So, yes, Cole Palmer has won Player of the Month, Premier League Player of the Month, unsurprisingly. What's he got? This month included the 4 goals against Brighton, I believe, which was record-breaking in that first half. So, yeah, very, very good. And just generally playing very well. Assists in there as well, I believe. Cole Palmer's the best player in the world. He's certainly the form player in the Premier League at the moment, so unsurprising. What is positive? Big Enzo Maresca won Manager of the Month. And oh my giddy aunt. Hold up. Listen to this. This is concerning. Well, no, not concerning, because it feels like we're back. But Cole Palmer, in April 2024, so obviously he's won it again now, Player of the Month in October 2024, but he was the first player in April to win it since Eden Hazard. In fact, you could put this guy. That guy behind me on the wall. And that was September 2000. Well, it was 2018 because he hasn't played for us since 2018. There's too much light. Is that helpful? A little bit. Yeah, man. So for the first time in 4 years, over 4 years. Oh no, because of course Cole Palmer won in April. Anyway, Cole Palmer's saving Chelsea as the player. He's literally the second coming of Eden Hazard in terms of these awards. But more salient point is, we haven't had a Manager of the Month since October 2021. Thomas Tuchel, October 2021. So we were champions of Europe, Chelsea. Good times, remember that? So to go for literally 3 years, almost on the money, on the nose, without a Manager of the Month award as Chelsea Football Club is pretty disgraceful. We went 6 years without a player, and that was until Cole Palmer came along. So these Maresca and Cole Palmer, really changing the fortunes of Chelsea. Of course, they represent the new ownership and sporting directors. Palmer's their acquisition, Maresca's their guy, their manager. Maybe things are turning around for Chelsea. Maybe. And of course, Sonia winning in her first month of the Women's Super League, Manager of the Month as well. So congratulations to her. Superb. All right, then, a little bit more on Cole Palmer. Yes, this isn't an England review. And of course, I did do that on the second channel. But of course, Cole Palmer, Levi Colwill with an amazing goal line clearance in that embarrassing historic defeat to Greece at home at Wembley. I won't go through the details of why it's a really, really bad defeat. You can watch that on the second channel. But Cole Palmer did start. Levi looked excellent in goal. The fact how we couldn't play football that day is down to the manager. And what's also down to the manager is starting Cole Palmer in what can only be described as a CDM starting position in a double pivot next to Declan Rice with 4 attacking players in front of him. So no, he's not in the number 10 behind a striker flanked by wingers. He had 4 attacking players in front of him. That is a war crime. Disgraceful. Yes, we looked at his heat. I looked on his heat map on the second channel. He sort of pushed up into that right-sided channel he likes to operate in, but it's absolute bollocks. Excuse my French. It was really, really poor. We should be building the England side around him at the moment, and yeah, look, I don't think Carsley's going to keep that job, but he better learn pretty friggin' quickly. And he's also played Cole loads. Just look at what Cole's doing, man. He scored broke the goal scoring record recently, gets loads of assists. Everything at Chelsea goes through him in terms of the attack. Just play Cole Palmer in the hole in the number 10 and just drop Foden. I'm sorry, bro. Foden's great. I love him, whatever. You know, play Saka on the right, if he's injured or if he's not doing it, bring in Noni, but I understand why Saka starts over him. You just drop Bellingham behind next to Rice, but you play a conventional system, start a left winger. And I tell you what, speaking of left wingers, Jadon Sancho at Cobham training will be watching that England game, watching Anthony Gordon, who's a good player in his own right, and he'll be thinking, yes, please, I'll fancy this. Especially, right, like, you know, if he's going to be linking up and combining with players like Madueke and Cole Palmer for England. He's like, yeah, I know these, man. I know what they want to do. I know these boys. I know their style. Chuck me in, gaffer. And also, England, great. Gordon's great to just fly in transition and run in behind. So is Rashford when he was used, but England are often going to have the majority of possession, and you're going to need dribblers like Saka, Madueke, and Sancho. You know. Anyway, Cole Palmer being subjected to terrible. Let's move on. Right, speaking of international break, Nations League. Ooh la la, mon garçon, mon frère. Did you see, ladies and gentlemen? And if you haven't, I'd encourage you to seek out the Christopher Nkunku goal for France against Israel in their 4-1 win. Beautiful stuff. I believe it was his first start back. But that was Cole Palmer's first start for England yesterday. That absolute disgrace. I think that's probably why I'm really triggered by it. Because, anyway, France, the other half of my nationality. Yeah, man, he looked great in Nkunku. That goal, that kid is nice, isn't it? The French kid, I'm looking at it now. That turn, so if you haven't seen it, go seek it out. Christopher Nkunku's kind of like in the left channel, which is where he loves to operate, actually. His best football is often doing that. Sometimes playing off a big man in a 4-4-2 or second striker, shallow striker, just slightly on the left. He takes the ball, he turns brilliantly, plays the ball in front of him, and then it looks like, oh, he's just going to have to do a cut back or something because he's gone far too wide and it's just too much of a hard angle to execute the finish. Well, I'll tell you bloody what, he executes that finish, and it's just a beautiful solo goal from Christopher Nkunku, from a beautiful player, and it's so tough. It's so tough for Premier League Manager of the Month Enzo Maresca, because he is the best finisher at the club, better than Cole Palmer. He is. Cole Palmer scores a lot of goals. He's up. He's level with Cole Palmer. Probably still the best finisher at the club, I'd say. Christopher Nkunku. The fact that we can't get this guy in our best team is really frustrating. And to be honest, like, you know, and I hate to bring it back, but what a great example is Lee Carsley. Maybe you can't get your best players in your team. Otherwise, you end up like England yesterday getting slapped up by Greece. We might have only lost 2-1, but it could have been 5-1. Genuinely. The ball hit the back of the net 5 times. And then also, Levi Colwill made an absolutely world-class goal line clearance from, you know, Jordan Pickford's insane moment. Should have been 6-1. That's why sometimes you have to drop some of your best players. And yes, Chelsea first team, Nico Jackson better suited profile. Nkunku does want to run in behind and operate and sneak about. He's a bit, cloak and dagger, isn't he? Nkunku, he wants to sort of sneak in. So I get it. It's just such a shame. It's such a shame that we can't just play this guy and play to his strengths in the first choice team, and that he has to be subjected to the Chelsea midweek B team, where he'll get a lot of minutes. He'll get to play exciting games and play. And by the way, he's not playing with the kids in the B team. He's playing with Joao Felix, Pedro Neto, and crew. So he's all right. Do you know what I mean? He's playing with quality, but it's just so frustrating that we can't get this guy on the first team. Maybe he will eventually break his way through into the team. It would just have to be at the expense of Nico Jackson, and he will just have to learn how to play centre forward a bit better. But again, why do you want to change his game? It's just such a. I wonder if he'll get to sort of 27 years old and we'll sell him for a lot, like the money we got him, which paid for him, which means we'll make a profit on the books. By the way, guys, so he's 26 now. He turns 27 next month, actually. I wonder if there's a chance Nkunku sold in the summer. Again, for the money we got him, 50 million, because he's playing for France. He's scoring for France. I wonder if we sell him for 50 million just because he just doesn't fit in and someone big comes in for him. Like maybe, I don't know, like he's played in Germany. I imagine he speaks German, maybe like a Bayern Munich or a Dortmund or a back to PSG. I don't know. It'd be very sad because he's such an exciting player. But yeah, you got to have players that fit your system. You just simply, you have to. Sorry, forgive me for forgetting who it was, but shout out to the guy who tried to explain book value to me on Instagram in DMs about Ben Chillwell, because I was talking about him recently if he'd be sold. Because book value is transfer cost amortized across the contract, but then of course if they sign an extension, like Ben Chilwell has signed an extension at Chelsea, his book value is actually very, very little. I think it's under £20 million or something. It's very little for a guy who costs 50 million. So you'd make a profit on the books for him if you sold him for more than, say if you sold him for 20 million or over, Ben Chilwell, which he's definitely worth 20 million or over, you'd make a profit on the books. So Yes. Right. Let me know what you think about the striker situation and stuff like that. I just want to speak quickly. I've got like a bit of fluff in my eye or eyelash. There's something on there. I might have got it. And it's really driving me crazy. Many of you will have been keeping up with this Man City versus the Premier League battle in the court case. Of course, they've not actually got to the 115 charges yet, but they've been doing the APT battle, which is associated party transactions, which, yes, if that doesn't get the juices flowing, nothing will. It's essentially deals with sponsors that have some form of relation to you, and like the value and not inflating the valuations. Now, of course, there's Man City with the Etihad, the Etihad Stadium, Etihad main shirt sponsor, Etihad everything. They've been pumping so much money through that global deal to the club, and obviously that's part of their ownership as well. So, yeah, this essentially is a long-term thing, and there's articles on Football.London and indeed other stuff about how Chelsea have been a witness for Man City and how Chelsea are interested in this particular thing going the way of Man City, because Chelsea, we're not a state-backed or an owned club, a state-owned club, but we are a clear like capital-backed club, and they have so many associated business partners that they can link to Chelsea and put money into Chelsea to make Chelsea good, to make Chelsea a more valuable asset and generate more revenue in the Premier League, yada, yada, yada. So it's in Chelsea's owners' interest to find a way to put more money into Chelsea, like Man City. Not all clubs want to do that. Mike Ashley at Newcastle didn't want to do that. Certain other owners don't want to do that. They want to sort of just keep them afloat and take out some money. At the moment, Chelsea owners do want to juice Chelsea up. They want to make Chelsea as big as possible, multi-club model as possible, the biggest global brand as possible, and make loads of money. So if they can find ways to put money into Chelsea without breaching PSR, financial fair play and stuff like that, they will do that. So this associated party transactions, I think forgive me, it's not my expertise, but I think like Infinite Athlete, of course the sponsor we had in the shirt last season, there is an affiliation to Chelsea. They did sort of come out of nowhere and gave Chelsea, a relatively, not massively lucrative, but a pretty strong financial deal out of nowhere in a season where we weren't even in any form of European competition. So that was very lucky, wasn't it? But yeah, it looks like Chelsea are I'm cuddling up a little bit more to the claims or to the position of Man City and Newcastle, which I must say, like on the surface of it, is pretty unsavoury, but it is what it is. There was an article, but I wanted to not just read it to you because it would have been hella boring, so hopefully I've explained it well enough there. Guys, as always, thank you for joining me. Let me know what you think. Please do keep it locked to the channel because I'll be back every day to talk about the biggest stories in Chelsea, global, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, keep it locked and I hope to see you back here soon. Peace.